Ever wondered how KitKat, the iconic chocolate bar loved by millions worldwide, is made? Join us as we uncover the fascinating process behind crafting over 7 million KitKat chocolates every single day. The chocolate-covered wafer bar treat known as KitKat was developed by York, United Kingdom-based Rowntrees. Nestle, which purchased Rowntrees in 1988, produces it all over the world except for the US, where it is made under license by the H.B. Reese Candy Company, a branch of the Hershey Company with which Rowntrees first entered into a contract in 1970. The typical bar is made up of 2 or 4 parts, made of 3 wafer layers that are separated and coated in chocolate on the outside. You may snap each finger off the bar individually. KitKat comes in a variety of flavors such as milk, white and dark chocolate. An employee at Rowntree's York factory suggested a chocolate bar that a man might carry to work in his pack-up, leading to the creation of the first iteration of the bar, which had 4 fingers. The original Rowntree's chocolate crisp flavor was introduced in the UK in September 1935, and the 2-finger variant followed in 1936. In 1937, it was renamed KitKat Chocolate Crisp, and following World War II, it was simply discontinued. The KitKat motto in the UK and worldwide has been "Have a break, have a KitKat" since the product's debut on television in a UK advertisement in 1958. "Gimme a break, break me off piece of that KitKat bar" has been the theme song on TV commercials in the United States since 1986. The term KitKat or KitKat refers to a particular sort of dish that dates back to the 18th century when pastry chef Christopher Cat's political KitKat club in London served mutton pies, or kits, at its meetings. The York, England-based confectionery firm Rowntrees first trademarked the phrases KitKat and KitKat in 1911, giving rise to the modern-day KitKat brand. The titles were not immediately used, and Rowntrees introduced a line of chocolate boxes called KitKat in the 1920s, marking the debut of KitKat. This persisted until the 1930s, when Rowntrees concentrated on producing goods under the Dairy Box and Black Magic brands. The KitKat brand declined with the introduction of substitute items, and it was eventually phased out. An employee at Rowntree's York factory suggested a snack that a man could take to work in his pack in a recommendation box, which led to the creation of the first 4-finger bar. Rowntree's Chocolate Crisp, priced at $2D, was the bar's official name when it was introduced in September 1935 and was distributed throughout southern England and London. In 1937, Rowntree's Chocolate Crisp became KitKat Chocolate Crisp. Food shortages during World War II led to a recipe change in 1942, which resulted in the brand's color scheme and first flavor variation. KitKat lost its chocolate crisp moniker and gained a dark chocolate flavor. The packaging also changed to a blue hue. Following the war, the brand was rebranded as KitKat, keeping the original milk chocolate formula and red packaging. In the 1940s, KitKat was transported to Australia, New Zealand, Ireland, Canada, and South Africa due to its popularity in the United Kingdom. The famous commercial slogan, "Have a break, have a KitKat," was coined in 1957 by JWT London executive Donald Gillies. The brand grew even more in the 1970s when Rowntrees signed deals to distribute it in the US through the Hershey Company and in Japan through Fujiya, as well as building a new distribution facility in Germany to accommodate demand in Europe. Except for the US, Swiss firm Nestle achieved global control over the KitKat brand in June 1988 when it purchased Rowntrees. This allowed Nestle to expand production and distribution, adding new facilities in Japan and setting up further manufacturing operations in Malaysia, India, and China. Among the most well-known chocolate bars worldwide is KitKat. Every year, billions of them are consumed. But have you ever wondered what goes into the KitKat chocolate filling? We went to see how more than 7 million chocolate bars are produced daily at one of the biggest chocolate producers in the world. Since the 1930s, KitKat has been a beloved staple among children and adults alike. In 1935, at the height of the golden chocolate era, it was released into the market. It is a delicious blend of crispy wafers in silky milk chocolate consisting of 3 layers of wafer and 2 layers of filling covered in chocolate. Chocolate prices fell to the point where 90% of people could buy it in the 1930s. This set off a chocolate war between manufacturers such as Cadbury and Mars. Nestlé purchased the chocolate bar brand in 1988. More than 7 million chocolate bars are produced daily in the UK alone at one of Nestlé's factories in York. An average of 1,900 chocolate bars are devoured every minute, amounting to 1 billion bars consumed annually. Except for cocoa plants and their harvesting, every stage of the supply chain is situated close to one another thanks to the factory's clever layout. These facilities process the beans after receiving enormous tons of cocoa. The factories that make the wafers that give bars their crispy interiors, and the assembly plant where wafers and chocolate components are combined and wrapped in a big warehouse before being shipped, are directly connected to the chocolate factory that makes KitKat chocolate. The cocoa tree's seeds are where it all starts. The majority of the cocoa beans are imported from West Africa, where they are harvested in March. After being sun-dried for roughly 7 days, the cocoa beans are sent straight to the York production facility. After the beans arrive at the factory, they go through a 3-hour procedure called husking, which involves crushing the beans with a set of rollers to release the cocoa seed, and cleaning, which lets the beans be separated from dirt. The process of turning the bitter beans into chocolate begins when they are placed in a machine that vibrates them, exposing the fatty inside of the seed and shattering the husk. This portion of the bean is referred to as pulp and contains all of the chocolate taste. The husk and pulp of the broken beans are separated using vibrating filters. Smaller and heavier pulps fall to enhance the pulp's flavor, while the longer and lighter husks stay on top of the filter and are eliminated. It's roasted in an enormous roaster that looks like a coffee roaster. Manufacturers of chocolate keep the temperature and timing of roasting precisely a secret, since adjusting these 2 factors also affects the final product's flavor. The chocolate treasure known as chocolate liquor is released from the cocoa in the ovens through pressure and heat. There is cocoa butter in this chocolate liquor. The solids will be gathered as a cocoa powder that may be bought at the supermarket when the cocoa butter and solids are separated. The fatty portion that is combined with sugar, milk, vegetable fats and cocoa powder to make the beloved chocolate is called cocoa butter. Utilizing vegetable fats lowers the product's cost. The liquid is turned into a sweet, thick, sandy chocolate paste by combining it with sugar and other ingredients in a large 1-ton mixer. After the ingredients are combined, the perfectionism phase starts, a procedure known as crunching that reduces the size of the chocolate particles and improves their texture. Longer quenching times are necessary for the finest chocolates to have a smooth, creamy texture. While smoothing the chocolate, the continuous friction and heat produced between the mixture and the machine's paddles release even more flavor. The finished product is creamier, tastier, and more expensive the longer the chocolate is combined. This technique results in the formation of liquid chocolate. The temperature of the chocolate will rise while heating to guarantee melting and then drop to about 27 degrees Celsius. This lessens the chocolate's tendency to crystallize. In essence, crystallization is the grey or drab layer that appears on chocolate and detracts from its attraction to customers. Additionally, the chocolate for the KitKat bars is now ready. The fabrication of the wafer layers becomes the next area of emphasis. Mixing flour and water to form a dough, which is then molded into the shape of big wafer sheets, is done. The wafer is baked at 150 degrees in big ovens that are transported with it. It receives a coating of the wafer filling right away after cooling down. To accomplish this, one wafer layer is filled with filler and layered on top of another wafer. Lastly, a wafer layer is added that isn't filled, similar to creating a 3-layer sandwich. And now the filling's mystery is about to be unveiled. To mimic a slender, long bar, a small amount of crushed KitKat mixed with sugar, liquor, and chocolate makes up the filling of a KitKat wafer. Rejected. The wafers of other KitKats are filled with a paste made from crushed KitKat bars. This chocolate is ready to be formed into chocolate bars after 16 hours of mixing. Every day, the machine fills more than 200,000 chocolate bars, or 336 molds each minute. The outside of the KitKat is made by pumping chocolate into molds. After the wafers are placed within the mold, a coating of chocolate is applied to them. The bar and the molds are separated in a cool atmosphere. The chocolate is hardened with a brief trip through the cooling tunnel. After the bars are manufactured, quality controllers take out any bars that have flaws like bubbles or cracks. To make the filling, they crush them and combine them with chocolate. Immediately thereafter, the process of packaging is completed by autonomously controlled robots. The device operated quickly, encasing the chocolate bars. The bars are then prepared to melt in your tongue by placing a beautiful wrapper over them. A staggering 7 million bars are made every day. The KitKat bars are packaged and then placed in a storage facility so they may be shipped to supermarkets. After that, the neatly packaged KitKat bars are moved to an on-site warehouse where they wait for orders. The bars are relocated to the loading area for every new order, after which they are shipped to supermarkets and retailers so that chocolate lovers everywhere can enjoy them. Now you know the amazing journey behind the creation of KitKat chocolate bars, from cocoa beans to delicious treats. If you enjoyed learning about this sweet process, subscribe to our channel for more fascinating insights into the world of confectionery and chocolate manufacturing.